Greetings and salutations, everybody. Welcome back once again, or for the very first time, to the Farts and Crep Show, where today, as per usual, Soraya is very excited to get going. Where today, as per usual, it's your host Danjo here with part 78 of... almost said the wrong thing again. Tales of Zestiria, the PS4 version running on the PS5. Hope you guys are all doing well. Just doing a little self-calibrate-y thing on the joysticks. But yeah, hope you guys are having a great day. On today's episode, we're going to be fighting that, which I believe should net us either the final Irish gem or close to it. Oh, my blast gauge is up to 5? Beast. Thunder. Thunder. Okay. Ooh, his proficiency is maximum. Our defense. Duration of stat increases. Armor defense. Oh, that one's maxed, right? That's the one that gives you the better stun damage rate, and that's what I like. And better arch attack, which is kind of better in general. Should I just go for the defense one since he needs... Yeah, probably. Yeah, I mean, probably. Staff Nemesis, I think, is like the basic one. I think everybody's pretty much good when it comes to our equipment. I believe we already went over that. I believe so. Do you believe? I love anything called. Where is he getting all that defense if he doesn't have... He just has good defense? That's weird. It's 32. It's 24. Huh. I guess just innately he has good defense. That's strange. For most of the other characters, I have to, like, boost it up. Actually, let's just check. It's been a hot minute since I've played this. Right, but she's a physical, I remember. Go to some booch. Oh, Bootsy. I have 5 red sages? Wow. But there was a 5th sage. Okay. Yeah, I think we're ready. And I did just load a save, so... I did change the... I guess just make Leo's title, huh? Okay. That's fine. Let's just go ahead and overwrite the other save. Anyway, I did recently finish up Tales of Arise Beyond the Dawn. And so now it went completely different from how I was expecting, because I was hoping this would be finished up before this series would be finished up before that even released. That didn't happen because the whole Irish Gem thing threw me for a loop. And now I'm done with that expansion, Beyond the Dawn, and still doing this series. Which should, be a little indicator, I guess, of, well, I mean, I guess these episodes are, like, shorter than some of the streams, but, yeah, Tales of Arise Beyond the Dawn, man, super disappointing. I was very excited for it, because Tales of Arise is one of my favorite, like, games of the past, like, 10 years, and, I mean, definitely 5 years, for sure, and, man, they missed the mark so hard, and I don't understand how. Because here's the thing, certain things don't need sequels. And instead of like a more traditional expansion, where it just adds a bunch of stuff to the game, which would have been great, they treated it like a totally separate story that happens a year after the events of the main game. Certain stories don't need anything tacked on at the end because they finish the literary arc.
Well, here comes trouble.
Anyway, there's a classic arc of storytelling where you have 3 basic components. You have rising action, climax, and falling action. Essentially, the rising action can be thought of as the introduction, the stage setting. Characters get introduced, conflicts get introduced, story elements get introduced, character arcs, plot lines, that kind of thing. And they keep leading up to a point, a climax, where typically it's the turning point of the story. It's not necessarily when the conflict gets resolved, although some stories it is. And it's not necessarily when everything makes its big turning point, but it's at least the core plotline turning point. And the falling action is the resolution, resolving the rest of what was introduced in the rising action, so you feel like you get conclusion. You get things don't necessarily all get resolved, but the stories get wrapped up. And they kind of did that already at the end of the base game in Tales of Arise, so in the expansion, essentially you need a new conflict, maybe new character arcs, that kind of thing, and they didn't do any of that, really. They couldn't, because the main core conflict of the base game was resolved definitively. And so the only core conflict is, people are having, without spoilers, I'm not going to spoil stuff, people are having trouble in the, because, save the world kind of shit. It is that kind of story trope arc. It's like, okay, you saved the world. What are we doing now? Well, people are having trouble getting along. There we go. Because at the end of a peaceful resolution, inevitably, there are some people that don't want to be at peace because they hate each other. Duh. Like, it's almost as if they put this, like, just, it's almost as if they dumped the plot line in text form into, like, an AI thing and be like, hey, what would happen a year after this story? And it's just like, people are having trouble resolving their preconceived notions of each other. Is like, yeah, obviously, what else? People are at peace. And then there's a friend that has no friends, and stuff happens. Like, okay. But there's no driving force behind the characters anymore. Like, even they could have reintroduced things that are part of those characters' arcs. Like, Kisara's good at cooking, she wanted to teach, and some of these things were touched on in the credits of the core game, which could have set up for interesting stories. And they did it once, in one skit. It wasn't even a quest or anything that you could play. It was literally in like a cutscene. I guess it was twice. Literally twice. But you couldn't actually play it. Which is so fucked up, because one of the... And this isn't really a spoiler either, because Kisara is very good at cooking. She loves culinary, and she's very skilled domestically. Like, she's very good at sewing, she's very good at cleaning, and, you know, stuff. She's very good at taking care of the basics. And in one of the images in the credits of the core game, it shows Kisara teaching two of the other characters. Yeah. Teaching Shion and Rinwell how to cook. Be like, wow, that would have been cool. Maybe they'll put like a cooking minigame in there and have it like as a quest line where like Kisara is privately teaching them how to cook, and then eventually she's teaching at the school. Oh wait, no, that's in this game. But there's definitely a school somewhere. Because there's that new school in Gadaden, right? But in Tales of Arise, the school is... Oh shit, they actually never clarify where a school is. They definitely have schools. You don't see a single fucking school in that game. Huh, that's really weird. Okay. Basic tenets of society, right? Anyway, or she could have set up her own school of, like, you know, cooking, culinary shit, whatever. Culinary school. Yeah, that's a thing. And it could have been dope. Could have turned into a restaurant and all this other shit. But no. And they talk about certain things. They mention, like, oh, we're gonna build an inn. Never happens. Fancy tourist attraction thing never actually happens. They talk about it. The farming thing, that could have been cool. It kind of changes. It's hard not to drop spoilers. It's easier to talk about stuff that they didn't do, which is not a spoiler because it doesn't happen. Law kind of had... I mean, you know, but making it part of the game, not just a cutscene. Anyway, it would have been a lot easier. Because I don't mind games that are narratively focused. And like Tales of games, these definitely are. There's a bit more to it because there's other gameplay elements like building your team and stuff like that. doesn't really come up as much in Tales of Arise, which kinda sucks because it's like, get all the stuff. Oh, new sword, new better weapon, cool. At least in this one and most of the Tales of games of this generation had like stuff like this where it's like, oh no, you have like fusion, you have like proficiency levels, you have like different advancement levels like via the shops and like the Lord of the Land thing and blah blah blah. There's a lot more systems in place. So even people that don't really care about the story as much, or certain characters or certain quests and stuff, still have like tons of things to appreciate about the game. And there's really nothing like that in Tales of Arise. Beyond the Dawn, that is. In the base game, there's a few things. Like fishing, the fishing minigame is pretty, wouldn't say advanced, but it is a thing that you progress throughout the story, and eventually having mastery over it has like its own rewards, although it's a one-time reward, which kind of sucks. They really could have done more with that. So that's the thing. Essentially, and here's the other thing too. It doesn't even connect. The save data is totally separate. The launcher is totally separate from the base game. Like, it doesn't connect at all. Now, if depending on your progress in the base game, you get better starting stuff for Beyond the Dawn, which also has New Game Plus, but only for the expansion. So even if you want to carry over all your stuff and start over from the beginning, you're not starting over from the beginning, you're starting over from the beginning of the expansion, which is a year after the base game. Which is so fucking dumb. It's like, if you want to continue the thing, have the New Game Plus go into the start of the story. Which is so dumb. They don't connect them in any way, they're completely separate. It's like an additional episode or a half sequel that was so half-assed. Because, again, you don't have like the character-motivated character arcs, you don't have the plot lines, there's no impending threat to the party, there's no outside conflict that unifies everything else. It feels like a whole bunch of nothing. And by the end of the story, it's the exact same as the beginning of the story. Nothing of significance happens. And it's so fucking dumb. And it reviewed pretty well. And I was like, huh, that's funny. From even an objective standpoint, people are like, oh, it's fine, it's pretty good, 6 out of 10, 7 out of 10. But I think that's why they were like, it's pretty good. Because they're not huge fans of Tales of. I am a huge fan. I've played most of the games. Like, and that did not need to happen. That expansion, if they wanted to do it right, if they wanted to do something that actually made it a better experience by adding more to it, here's what you do with that kind of story. Throughout the base game, every one of the characters, the main characters, has some kind of, in some point in conversation, talks about the before time. Before, like, way back in the day, before they knew any of the other party members, before they joined up, before the game even started. And they have these great backstories, none of which are actually seen. They only talk about them. And here's the thing. as an expansion, you would have so much content. By making it a prequel story before the game even starts, because the game kind of starts at a midpoint. It's a turning point for it's an important turning point for the main character, Alphen and Shion. And that's a little bit of a spoiler, but in order to fully explain why this would have been incredible, I have to drop little spoilers. And the main reason I haven't gone to fight this guy is because it's going to be loud, it's going to be involved, and I need my concentration for this. So here we go. Spoilers. If you don't want spoilers for Tales of Arise, just later, don't watch this one. Just skip to the next video or whatever. I'll recap at the beginning of the next episode if you don't want them spoilers. But here's the thing. Tales of Arise, which actually before I get into this, play the game. Don't even bother with the expansion. It's not worth it. The game got a price cut though because the expansion came out. It was $60 for the longest time, $60 USD. Now it's only $40. Got a $20 price cut. Play the game. At $40, it's a great deal. It goes on sale every so often though, whenever Bandai Namco does their sales. You can probably, next time it goes on sale, pick it up for $20 or $30. Hell of a deal. Great game. So much content. Which is why the expansion feeling like almost nothing is just baffling. Because the base game will take you it's like this. How many hours do we have? 83. I'll even knock off 10 hours of just me dicking around. And we're not towards the end. This is comfortably, and I checked also on GameFAQs, this is comfortably an 80-hour game. Just for the story. So, and it is a story-driven game, so yeah, 80 hours. At least. Comfortably, that's what I mean. So here's the spoilery part. If you don't want the spoilers later, thanks for being here. Greatly appreciate it, guys. If you want to support the show more directly, do the things. Check the end of the video where I just talk about that and we transition to the members screen. Which, actually, yeah. If you're still here, you haven't left yet, it's a good way too. Just, you can kind of tell if you scrub the video where we transition to the members wall, the green wall of awesome people. Just skip to that if you don't want spoilers. So, or skip to the point where I move into the fight, because then you'll know I'm not talking about Tales of Arise spoilers anymore. So, you have 6 main characters. They are kind of paired off in 3 pairs of 2. The first one that they, unlikely connection is Alphen and Shion, which eventually becomes the main, romantic partner, will they, won't they kind of story. That's kind of what it is, but also all 6 of them want to save the world. Some of them have slightly different motivations, blah, blah, blah. So then, and they don't join your party in pairs either. They kind of eventually pair off later when they decide they have more in common. And Kisara and Dohalim are kind of quickly shipped as a pair, but the unlikely pair of Rinwell and Law, fantastic. Also, Rinwell's one of the best characters in the game, bar none. So starting with Shion, you meet her at the beginning of the game. She's already been captured, and she's in the back of a train car, and you have to free her, and you can't feel pain, but she brings pain to everybody that dares touch her because of her thorns. And eventually you regain the ability to feel pain, and then it causes a rift between you two because you're the only one who's ever touched her in her whole life. She's cursed and blah blah blah. she only ever talks about that. How did she become cursed? Why did she get captured? How did she get the Fire Master Core from Balsif? All these fucking things. I think it's Balsif is his name. Anyway, there's so much back there, and then apparently she grew up on Lenegus, I guess, but came to Dana when she was young. That would have been cool to see, to actually play through. Actually play as Shion for a while when she was younger as this shit is happening. She learns marksmanship, like, she gets her gun, there's so much cool shit that she could have provided a unique look at. Like, Renin culture growing up with that kind of, like, curse thing that was very much not explained. Eventually kind of explained, yes. But supposedly she was born with it, blah blah. Whatever. It would have been a terrible childbirth for her. I feel bad for her mom all of a sudden. But supposedly it, like, just awakened one day, I think. That would have been cool. And throughout the whole game, too, this is the other reason prequel would work so much better. You play as Alphen, like 90% of the time in Chapter 1. Pretty much 100% of the time in the beginning of the game. And then later, as you get more characters, you can switch your battle character or whatever, but not the character you walk around as. But they all do everything as a group anyway, so they could have easily made that a thing. Where it's like, no, I'm going to main as this person and walk around as this person. Which I could be partially wrong on that. But most people will play the entire game just as Alphen, and the story is kind of presented from Alphen's perspective. So a prequel, again, spoilers, Alphen would be in basically cryostasis, not even conscious, for a very, 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 very long time. So when all the other characters are younger, he wouldn't even be part of the picture. So you could decentralize the story from Alphen and instead have the chapters be about the different characters. So different episodes, if you will. So you play through Shion's story, and then you could have it be like in Final Fantasy IX, where you cut to different things. Be like, oh, you reached the end of Shion Chapter 1. Do you want to switch to the other character that you learned about, or whatever, blah blah blah? A different Renin, like, perspective, and like, which would be Dohalim Chapter 1, but they wouldn't tell you. It would just be like, oh, okay. Yeah, I want to see from the perspective of a different Renin, because he was royalty, his upbringing would have been very different, and he talks about it with, like, his interest in music and his friends in Lenegus and, like, becoming a lord because of his house that he comes from, and all this other shit could have been really cool. And then, of course, eventually you would have heard about some kind of rumor, right? Oh, no, eventually you'd be closer to becoming a lord. You'd meet Kisara. Be like, do you want to know more about Kisara? Then you could switch to Kisara Chapter 1. And just any character that you've unlocked, you could just, like, switch to their story. Because all the characters are kind of connected. Like, from Kisara, you could probably throw in something about, what was it? Because he was part of the rebel faction, his dad was, or whatever, and then the Snake Eyes thing. You could have tied it in that way, and then eventually with, I guess, Shion or Dohalim, either one, since they can both use astral arts. And then they eventually would have heard something growing up about, like, Danins that can use astral arts, and, like, then you could transition to Rinwell. And just, you could keep doing that shit. And just any character you've unlocked, once you get to the end of a certain chapter with that character, you can switch to the other one if you want to, or just play that character's story to the point before the game starts. And that way, yeah, decentralize all this shit around Alphen. Actually focus on the other characters, teach the player how to play as the other characters, because that's part of the reason I didn't, and most people don't. They just stick to Alphen because he's plays like a typical Tales of protag, which is not that hard and pretty fucking awesome. But all the other characters are good and have great gameplay styles. It's just most people, by the time they get other options, are just like, nah, I've already played as Alphen for like 10 hours. Why would I switch? So yeah, and again, it would just be tacked on before the game starts, and it wouldn't be a spoiler for any of those points in the base game. Instead, when they happen, because again, it's not a it's only a spoiler if it's the game telling the player something new. And the characters still have to discover things in the fictional world. And there are things that you can't spoil just by doing more character development before the story starts proper. It could have been in-fucking-credible. And then you start from nothing when you're weak, you're young, but you build up the characters to the point where, oh hey, here's the thing, and then you just carry over that data, or don't, into the base game. It doesn't really matter. Because yes, then you'd have to rebalance the base game, I get it. In the way that the game is balanced, like, enemies don't auto, adjust to your level and blah blah. Whatever, some games do it differently. It wouldn't necessarily work super well. But they already worked out that system to where it's like, oh, you 100%ed the prequel. Here's like some extra bonuses for when you get these characters or whatever. And it doesn't have to be just carry over the levels, because that would fuck up the balance. You don't have to give them legendary weapons, because that would fuck up the other shit too. It's just, there's so many ways they could have done it to where it would have and could have been incredible. And it could have felt significant. And it could have deepened the appreciation and the bond that the players have for these characters, which are really good. But you know what would have been better? Is instead of when they talk about that past and be like, ooh, that's a tough story, you actually played through their backstories. Be like, oh yeah, I remember that shit. That was fucked up. Instead of like, oh, just use your imagination. This happened, It's like, and again, there are a bunch of points I was trying not to spoil. But inevitably, I had to drop some spoilers to fully talk about that. But anyway, that was the disappointment of the year. It sucked ass. But Tears of the Kingdom and Armored Core 6, great things that were in no way disappointing. Tears of the Kingdom a tiny bit, but that was more nitpick stuff. Okay, so fire, earth, and wind are resisted. Water and physical are fine, weak to arts. Okay. Do I have a different one that's just water yet? Or is it still just Heavenly Torrent? Rending Gale is pretty good. Partially resisted though. It's still just Heavenly Torrent, wow. Alright, that's fine. And Mikleo's on standby, good.
It's self-explanatorily huge!
Oh, I see.
Were you hoping to explain?
Flow and surge! Blade bang! Let's keep it up!
Slow fork! Burning echo!
Flow and surge! Yeah! Tiger blade! Let's keep it up! Sword rain! What? Flow and surge! Blade bang!
Alright,
Lord
let's
of
just do
Waters!
this.
Don't slack on defense. Here's the skies. Arrow Squall. Here's the skies. Arrow Squall. Open the floodgates. Bubble arrow. Aim and fire. Breakdown. Here's the skies. Arrow Squall. Here goes. Aim and fire. Here's the skies. Arrow Squall. Binding vortex. Saints arrow. Here's the skies. Arrow Squall. Here's the skies.
So it just didn't happen?
Arrow Squall. Here goes. Here goes. Here's the skies. Arrow Squall. Binding vortex. Saints arrow. Here goes. Open the way forth.
What the fuck is this hitbox?
Breakdown. Break on through. Burst. Ocean Blitz. Break on through.
Okay.
Ocean Blitz. Binding vortex.
Get lost!
Here's the skies. Arrow Squall. Here goes. Open the way forth.
Pretty smooth swordplay there, Rose.
They don't call me boss for nothing.
Cause you're the boss?
This place is a lot more dangerous than I thought.
Iris
We need to find
Gem.
him. Quick.
Who?
What was that?
Are you that archaeologist?
You just cut through those.
Oh, the archaeologist. I totally fucking forgot about this guy. I was just looking for Irish gems, man. I'm pretty sure I should have got one for that fight, but we'll see.
Walking stones!
It's not like that. It's called a hell.
Stay away from me, you monster!
What's the deal? We came to save you!
We're really after the Iris gem.
True, but Saray isn't just about that.
Hey. Well, at least he's okay. Yeah, I guess.
But still!
Look, there's the Earth in Historia.
That researcher dropped it.
Well, looks like we got a souvenir out of it.
Is this really okay?
Of course it's alright.
Wow. This one's like kind of animated.
And that was the moment that Heldolf, the Lord of Calamity, was born.
He was a human being once. Just like us. Unbelievable as it is.
Yes, he may have been a cold military leader, but he had genuine love for his family.
How could someone like him turn into the Lord of Calamity?
Well, he did lose his family.
I don't know. It felt like more than anything that happened to him, the transformation was born of his own resolve.
Could be.
It's probably not anything we can ever truly understand. But I can tell this much. Heldolf finally gave up. He couldn't fight back any longer.
Okay. I mean, that's a reasonable assumption, I guess. So do we finally have all the Irish gems, or... Oh, fuck yeah, there's no purple stars! Hope Pendrago's calmed down a bit. We see problems with the political. Start as any. Didn't I do that? Saint, neat. Setting up a village way out in Plansback wetland, no less. Check it out. I mean, maybe, but here's the thing, guys. Trying to finish this series. Son of a bitch. All fucking gold. I hate that. I don't. Here's the thing. I don't hugely hate it. If it's like balanced right, like having get keys to open like certain chests and stuff, different tiers, that's fine. But I've came across so many gold ones. So many gold ones. Like a ridiculous amount. Wait a minute. Isn't that blocked? It's not? Did we ever do this? I guess so. Okay. Really hate fighting those things. So... But... Wait. Isn't that where we came from? I mean, this is the obvious right way to go. So... I just don't remember if we went this way or... top left way. Oh. I guess it was the top left way. Because I think we're done. Oh, wait a minute. Can't I just... No, because I want to go back. I want to get the other fast travel point in case we do need to go... Because there was another exit to the wetlands that we didn't, take? And this whole thing has been like... It was the southern exit, right? Oh, shit.
Too bad, though. We didn't get to hear his stories about the ruins.
It's all right. Even if we'd have met with him, he probably wouldn't have listened to your ideas.
It's fine.
After all, they suck.
Is based on our own thoughts, after experimenting firsthand.
Even if our conclusions are different.
I'll say.
Hey! Quit lollygagging, you nerds!
Rose is still mad at us.
You know it's because she cares.
I know. I'm cool with it.
You guys are quite a team.
Yeah.
Come on! Put some hustle into it!
Coming!
Almost like Saray and what's her name? You know, she was like a squire or something. Wait a minute. I thought there was one more. There is no southern exit, though. It's only a western exit. I guess so? Still, we might have to go there.
Think this is all of the Earth in Historia?
But we're still missing something crucial. How did Heldolf end up that way?
Well, we know all too well what hardship he's been through.
Whoa there, Sheps. Don't tell me you're sympathizing with him.
Is it sympathy? I can't even tell.
Sheesh, Lila, this is cruel. I liked it better when he was a faceless bad guy. You can chop those to bits guilt-free.
I'm sorry.
But really, though, it's tough. How are we supposed to figure out the right thing to do?
Well, is Lila even telling Saray to find the right answer? Or...
Oh! Zavid!
Dang, sorry.
So now what? Just standing around talking like this isn't gonna solve anything.
Let's go back to see Maven.
Right. He's probably organized his thoughts by now anyway.
His thoughts. No, I get it. That's Lila's thing as like the main lord or whatever. Main sublord? Whatever they call the main seraph to the shepherd. Like, she can influence Saray. And like, I guess most seraphim are like that in the world of Tales of Zestiria, but they can't like tell them what to do, essentially. He still needs to draw his own conclusions, so...
I think I'm vaguely starting to get it. There's some connection between Heldalf and the shepherd who came before me.
I see. So Lila avoided speaking about it directly by asking Maven the storyteller to help her out. Ouch! Damn it, that's not what you use an umbrella for!
You have no idea how the mind of a lady works. Ouch! That hurts! Dang, what an ice queen. Ouch! Dang, she's not playing around!
Thanks, David. We needed someone to break the tension.
Oh, I think our Rose might be in love.
Don't get your hopes up.
Aww.
Let's hurry to Logren. I'm sure the old man will be waiting for us there.
Quite rare that we're ever in the same place that Maven is.
For sure. I mean, he's an explorer and all.
Is there any real reason why, though?
You really need to ask?
I guess there's no point in worrying about it.
Yep. Like they say, fear is often greater than something.
Greater than danger, you mean?
Alright, folks. Well, we are a little bit over runtime, and this seems like a good place to call it. You may remember I was avoiding going down to this section, but on the next episode, I feel like we probably should, and then head over here and see what that's about. Although I'm not sure that's connected. Yeah, I'm not sure it's connected, but there might be some good stuff down here that we could use. And there might be a fast travel point? That dungeon thing? Although we could just... Well, each save point actually acts as a fast travel. So, actually, you know what? I'm not gonna do that, because I feel like we're probably pretty good. Unless... Yeah, that's the only one... I mean, it might very well be worth it. Because this feels like the kind of late game kind of area that might be really helpful to help prep for the last couple fights or whatever. And who knows? It might just be some throwaway dungeon, but it's probably worth checking out. So, yeah, never mind. On the next episode, yeah, we're gonna head down here to the southern section. I think I already checked that. But, this section, gonna check that out and then see if it connects down here between those, like, two little circle things, and then check out that dungeon. Although, it might be that circle thing that connects it. It's hard to tell. But, yeah, we'll find out on the next episode. And then hopefully that won't take the whole episode. And after explore that, we'll head back to Logren. Because I feel like this is the final chapter. Yeah. Yeah. I would say that's pretty likely. Anyway, so let's go ahead and save. That's an old save, we don't need that one. But yeah, thank you all for being here, guys. I greatly appreciate it. Hope you enjoyed. And of course, before we get going, a very special thank you going out to the current Farts and Crap Show members, which at the time of recording is Novellis Draconis. But if you want to be incredibly awesome, support the show a bit more directly, and get in on all those membership benefits like Novellis Draconis does, check out the join button down below or the Farts and Crap Show Buy Me a Coffee. Either way, tiers start at $3 a month. It's only 10 cents a day. It gets you into all the basic stuff, including getting to vote on the series that get made here on this channel via the Members' Choice Polls, which is a thing that we do once a month here. It's only visible and accessible by channel members, but it is what we do so that I put together a small list of potential things we could do on the channel, and then the channel members get to vote on them for a full week. The polls are always live for a full 7 days, and then at the end of that 7-day period, the one with the most votes becomes the next series. Now, it doesn't mean I'm cutting series short. Still, you know, we beat games here, get to the credits. However, and well, not however, that is a large reason why we have 3 series going at all times. 2 rotating in the evenings, the evening time slot, and 1 in the morning time slot at noon Eastern and 11 p.m. Eastern, respectively. And so hopefully this series is going to be wrapping up in December. If it is, then the December Members' Choice Poll is going to be deciding the series that will replace this one. However, if there is still a good deal more to the game, and we can't beat it in December and it goes into January, then the December Members' Choice Poll is going to be stream related. Like I mentioned earlier, there's a good reason I wanted to talk about Beyond the Dawn. There's a good reason I talked about that earlier, because the only other main thing I had going stream-wise right now is Elden Ring, because we recently finished up Armored Core 6, completed that, and didn't have anything else in rotation. However, there are some recent updates and stuff that could do for streams, and some of the ideas are inevitably gonna have to go on the back burner. So, gonna pose it to the members. But that might happen in January. It might happen in December. Either way, the other 2 series we have going right now, Horizon Forbidden West Complete Edition and Final Fantasy Tactics: The War of the Lions, are both going to be going on for quite a while because those are long games. And yeah, depending on what gets picked to replace this, might also be a long series. So, but yeah, it's once a month. It's always something content related to what we do here on the channel, and the members get to pick what it is. So, anyway, but yeah, it's if you want to get in on that in the members wall and, you know, those things, but totally optional. Same content goes out to everybody. You know, we're not going to lock certain series and stuff, or, you know, timed exclusive to members or anything like that. So, yeah, it's gonna do it for now. I think that about covers it. So, yeah, once again, guys, thank you for being here. Until next time, take care, and I hope you all have a fantastic day.